And happening now, a quick glance at the flags flying at city halls in several Bay Area communities will tell you where they stand on same-sex marriage. ABC 7 News reporter Kira Clapper is live in Berkeley to show you what we mean. Kira?
Good morning to you, Eric. Berkeley, Oakland, San Leandro, Alameda, and Hayward all are flying the rainbow flag today. Supporters of marriage for same-sex couples are optimistic for the Supreme Court's decision, even though they likely won't find out the ruling until June. The raising of the rainbow flag at Berkeley City Hall signifies a hopeful beginning of the end for people in the fight for marriage equality.
I've been married to the same woman now 3 times, and now we're legally married because we got married during that brief window before Prop 8 passed.
Berkeley School Board member Judy Appel says she was the first lesbian elected to any office in Berkeley, but that's just part of who she is.
I'm also a mother here in Berkeley, and I'm really excited about this day because this marks another step in the future for all of our kids.
City Councilman Chris Worthington proposed the raising of the flag today and also wrote the original proposal for Berkeley to endorse marriage equality, which they passed in 1997. Just seeing the Supreme Court hear arguments on the constitutionality of Prop 8 is a success in his eyes, something he didn't think would happen for another 15 years.
If the court even takes a halfway step towards recognizing that states have a right to allow marriage equality, that would be the fastest civil rights movement probably ever.
In Oakland, the flag will be raised at City Hall at 11:45 this morning, just about 40 minutes from now. And in San Francisco this afternoon, the group Get Equal will lead a vigil along with other same-sex marriage supporters. That's at 4 this afternoon at the Supreme Court building in San Francisco on McAllister Street. Reporting live in Berkeley, Kira Clapper, ABC 7 News.
More now in the Supreme Court hearing on Proposition 8. There were some very complicated issues before the justices today in the hearing on Prop 8. Let's get some legal perspective now from an expert.
Yeah, Julie Nice is a law professor at the University of San Francisco. Julie, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so what kind of hints have we picked up from the justices during the 80 minutes? I mean, should one side be cheering?
Well, it was definitely quite a day. I think you can really see the justices grappling with the issue and groping for some common ground. I do not believe there was any majority opinion that really emerged yet from today. I think if there's any one thing we do know, it does not look like the justices are inclined to uphold Proposition 8 on its merits. So that does not seem like the opponents of same-sex marriage will get the sweeping victory they wanted, but neither will the supporters of same-sex marriage get the sweeping victory that they wanted.
It seemed in the questioning we heard earlier that the justices were looking for a cause and effect. How is this going to harm people? How is this going to harm the institution? While the Prop 8 lawyer was arguing that's not the question.
Right. I do think that the court focused very much on the issue of harm. You have to remember that the opponents of same-sex marriage are really saying that the harm that is caused by same-sex marriage is that it somehow is going to discourage or harm responsible procreation by heterosexuals. You saw a lot of all the liberal justices on the court were very skeptical of that reasoning. So that does not seem to be something that's likely to have much traction with the court. On the other side, the question is, what's the harm of excluding? And there we had a very interesting hint from Justice Kennedy. And he said he's quite worried about excluding the children of same-sex couples from full recognition and full status in society. So that does give some hope to same-sex couples and their families.
Now, Anthony Kennedy, moderate justice that a lot of people are watching, saying could turn on him, he seemed to be suggesting whether this issue should really be in front of the court at this time, and it sounded like he wasn't the only one asking that.
That's right. I actually think that, if you will, the court has one sort of technical way out of deciding the big questions, and that is the question of focusing on the question of whether or not those who oppose same-sex marriage, who propose the Prop 8 ballot initiative, have what we call standing to even appeal the decision. In order to have standing, you have to have some distinct or special injury that's unique to you. You can't just be situated like any other voter with a law that applies to everyone in the state of California. So the justices were very concerned about whether they even have proper jurisdiction to hear this case on appeal. If not, it would most likely be returned to the district court ruling, which would mean Prop 8's invalid.
So a ruling from the court, if they do issue a ruling, Would that affect just California or other states that have same-sex marriage laws?
I think both sides were hoping for a nationwide ruling, either upholding the ban or striking down the ban everywhere. That's not going to happen. It doesn't look like from these arguments. Instead, it looks like we'll probably have only a California solution. And I do think, if I had to predict based on the arguments, they can probably use the technical route to say we're not going to rule more broadly on this, and most likely Prop 8 would then no longer be in effect in California.
All right, Counselor, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Julie Nice, Professor of Law, USF.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.